Our next story is about the so-called Commonwealth of Nations. For those of you who don't know, the Commonwealth is an international association made up of the UK and former British colonies. It's a strange little club whose prime function is a mystery. We don't have free trade agreements. We don't have visa-free travel to the UK. As far as anyone can tell, the only purpose is nostalgia. Maybe it's to remind Charles of the good old days when his family subjugated over 20% of the world's population. But now even those memories are proving uncomfortable for Britain. Every 8 years, the Commonwealth elects a new Secretary General. The next one will be chosen in October, and this time the 3 candidates are from Africa, from Gambia, Ghana and Lesotho. All 3 candidates could become a problem for Britain because they all support reparations. Reparations mean compensation for past wrongs. It's a way of making amends, usually in the form of cash. All 3 Commonwealth Secretary General candidates believe the UK owes reparations for slavery and for colonialism. Now, India is a former British colony. We won our independence from the British in 1947, so the reparation issue could affect us too. The issue is certainly interesting. On the one hand, India should definitely be compensated for colonization. Before the British came along, India was one of the richest regions in the world. This is said often enough, but let me add some context. The English word loot has its origins in India. The English were doing it so often, they literally stole the word as well. The English word mogul, as in media mogul or oil mogul, also comes from India. It's how the English pronounced Mughal. India was so rich that the British used the dynasty's name as a synonym for an enormously wealthy individual. It shows that the British knew what they were doing. They literally came to India to pillage resources from the wealthy. And after about 200 years, they left the subcontinent a shell of its former self. So India definitely has a claim to reparations. But now let's look at the other argument. Should we really be raising this claim at the Commonwealth? The institution's name itself is a mockery. The British ended up taking wealth from all the other members. That's the only thing we have in common. And like its name, the institution itself is a joke, with no clear purpose other than maybe an international English speakers club. So why should we raise important issues in such a decrepit forum? Issues like reparations. There's no chance the Commonwealth will move the needle, no matter how persuasive the new Secretary General might be. The group just doesn't have the mandate to pull it off, or anything else for that matter. Which brings me to the next point. Why are we still members of such a pointless institution? It may have made sense in the last century, when Britain was still an economic force, but now the country is on its last legs. It is steadily losing its clout, its economy is on the ventilator, the population seems to detest anyone who wants to migrate there, even people they once colonized. So then, what is the point of sticking around in the Commonwealth? It's a question that India should think hard about. Perhaps it's time to shed the old colonial ties and chart a separate path. Perhaps it's time to abandon the sinking ship that is Britain. New Delhi hasn't tried to do so yet. Maybe because of pity or just for a laugh, but until India decides to quit the Commonwealth, it should throw its weight behind the next Secretary General, not just for the money, but also to see Charles and the gang squirm as they try and get out of it.